Hey, converted man here. The Atheist Experience puts out a bad argument? What? Impossible. It's not true. Yeah, it is true. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Don't know why I would apologize. It's their fault, not my fault. Hey, anyone can make a bad argument, and even if you agree with the conclusion, that doesn't fix the argument. Now, I hate this because it's a YouTube short, so I hate those in general, but here it is. Play the whole thing. I'm going to show the argument and go over it.
Deconstructing my faith in Christianity a few years ago, I looked to a lot of different philosophers of the past to help me navigate the world around me. A lot of them really had stuff that resonated with me, and I found myself enjoying going down these different nuanced paths that would take like 14 pages of explanation to define a single sentence. It really helped me see things differently about Christianity, and it helped me recognize some of the problems with religion as a whole. I never got a PhD in philosophy, but Dr. Alex Malpass did. And he has this really cool argument against Christianity, and I like it a lot. Premise one goes, if Christianity is true, then a perfect being exists. Premise two, if a perfect being exists, then Christianity is false. Therefore, Christianity is false.
Okay, that's the relevant part of the video that I want to talk about. It's the only important part is the argument. So, first, I want to preface this by saying, whatever you write about an argument doesn't matter. At least in technical, logical terms. In terms of informal logic, all that is focused on is the core argument. It must stand or fail on its own merits. So if you can't make it do what you want it to do, then don't do it, basically. Now, you can have multiple premises. Typically, you'll see two. Two is good because it's simple, it's less complicated, and less things can go wrong. The more complicated your argument is, the more chances are that something will happen that's an error in the way that you said things. And so the possibility of fallacies increase, if you will, at least, if you're doing it out loud or by memory or whatever. So simple is better. Okay. Regardless of whatever the paper or whatever the thing is from whatever book or website or whatever that he's taking this from, doesn't matter what it says about the argument. I've made the same objection against William Lane Craig's continual defense, quote unquote, not enough quotes in the universe, of the Kalam cosmological argument. He has a zillion different articles written defending the various premises and explaining them to those pesky atheists out there. Oh, it means this and this and this and this and this. That's nice. Too bad it's not in the syllogism, because that's really all that matters. So whatever you say that premise really means is irrelevant when analyzing the argument itself. And anyone can make a bad argument regardless of what side we're on or whatever. And even if we agree with the conclusion, that doesn't mean anything. What matters is either the argument is or is not valid and sound. So the soundness is the most important part. There's no fallacies at all. And the valid, it's easy to make it valid because that's the structure. P1, P2 conclusion. He had that. But is it sound? No. It's excluded middle or false dichotomy fallacy. So here it is. If Christianity is true, then a perfect being exists. If a perfect being is true, then Christianity is false. Therefore, Christianity is false. But this is a false dichotomy. It's excluded middle. Why? Well, let's go to the formula. If X, then Z. If X, then not Z, not Z. That doesn't work. Here's an example. If P1, if the switch is up, the light is on. P2, if the light is on, then the switch is not up. Conclusion, the switch is not up. Now, hopefully you'll see the multiple problems with this when we change the words used, but we're using the same exact formatting. If X, then not Z. If X, then if X, then Z, right? Then if Z, then not X, you can't, sorry, I said it wrong. If X, then Z, right? So if it's true, or if X is true, then Z is true. Z is true, and X is not true. You can't, oh shit. I did it again. I replaced Z and X, my brain. Sorry. Once again, if I'd recorded this, I would edit all this out, but I'm doing it live. Do it live! Okay. If X, then Z. So Christianity is X, then Z, then a perfect being exists. Then you say, oh, okay, if, wait, did I write this backwards then? That's what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Whoopsie. All right, let's just pretend. So then if the conclusion that is, if this is true, then it's false. But you just can't do that, okay? So, and this is correct. Okay. So yeah, if X and Z, then not X. So which is it? Is it true or is it false? If this is true, then this is true. If it's true, then it's also false. What? You can't do that. It's just, that's not how things work. Okay? Because your first premise, well, this is hypothetical syllogism, that's fine. So if condition A is true, then condition B is true. If condition B is true, then A is false. You can't have it both ways. So it's excluded middle, and there's other fallacies potential as well. But anyways, so if you want to make a decent argument, you don't do this, because you can't, like I said, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it be that the light is on there, so it's on, but the light is on, then it's actually off. It's actually on, so it's actually off. You can't, it just doesn't work. Okay. So a fixed version might look like this. A perfect being would not commit logical fallacies. In order to exist, the God of the Bible must be a perfect being. The God of the Bible has at least one logical fallacy of ad ballum, appeal to threat, hell. The God of the Bible is not a perfect being and thus does not exist. So that flows, and it's not even a hypothetical syllogism. So it's stronger than their hypothetical syllogism. So not only did I fix it, but I really fixed it, and this is actually valid and sound. I challenge you to point out any fallacies committed in this. Now, of course, you could say, well, how do you know what a perfect being is and all that? Yeah, sure, but you're not showing me a fallacy. In that case, you're arguing the premises of the argument, which is much better. That's ideally what you want to happen, is for your opponent to have to argue against the premises rather than point out a simple logical fallacy like excluded middle, false dichotomy. So the light is on, but if the light's on, it's also off. The light is on, therefore it's off. What? It's nonsensical. I don't know why they put this out. I have no idea. It is a YouTube short, so it's a limited format. So maybe he's simplifying the argument. Maybe he's dumbing it down. Maybe he doesn't remember it. Maybe anything. I don't know. None of that matters. What matters is the argument stands or fails on its own merits. And this argument just happens to fail. Well, did you convert a man? Are you just putting that out to become famous? Yes, I am. What's your argument? No, really, I don't, I'm putting it out because it's good logic. I don't care if I get famous or not, or attention or not. Why you need to know my motivation? Doesn't matter my motivation. I'm putting it out because I like logic. Anyways, so there's bad logic. So anyone can do it. See, even atheists can do bad logic. Remember the part where I couldn't say X and Z because I screwed even up my own thing? Yeah, See, I was doing some bad logic, and I was like, oh, wait, I fixed it. I realized I made a mistake. I fixed the mistake, and I said, hey, look, I made a mistake. Yeah, it happens. And you fix it. And then you go, okay, now I've explained it, hopefully in a way that's coherent and concise and that everyone can understand why it's broken, how it's broken, and everyone will agree with me, and we all just move on, right? Because that will happen, right? Nobody will say that I'm wrong, because they all will use good logic, right? 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 Hello? You all use good logic? No? Why not? Oh, okay. Well, do, don't, just please use good logic? Please? Thanks for watching. That's all. Yeah, it's a quick video.